by miracle of sound.
All right, and welcome back to the Shardbreaker podcast. This is episode 5, the final episode of Tress of the Emerald Sea, where we did chapter 54 through to the epilogue. I am Midnight, your host. I am a little sick, so apologies, and I am here with Darkness
Hello.
and Mythic.
Hello.
All right, so we start right at part 6, where we time skip a little bit as the ship gets closer to the Midnight Sea. Tress, or also this chapter is called the Valet. Tress only having to lift the ship with vines one time, other than that first time as they travel through. It's also noted that Tress had found Huck in a cage in Crow's room when she had returned from the dragon. He had been very happy to be rescued. Tress then introduces Huck to the others, and Fork calls him a hero. Anne also agrees to keep the cat in her room until they can get rid of it. Sally makes Huck a tiny pirate hat. Tress also tells her full story to the others and is surprised that they don't question her love for Charlie after her initial explanation. She also tells them about what she has learned about the Midnight Sea and its dangers. As the black moon gets more visible, Tress finds herself irrationally scared of it filling the whole sky. So were you happy that Tress finally told the crew, her full, story and everything?
I was surprised she did. I mean, I guess you got in closer with these
Continue,
people,
I'll be
but
right
also,
back.
Okay.
but also, how are you gonna trust them to not, make your situation seem smaller than what you feel it is?
Hmm.
Can you imagine, you're this crew, and then there's this lady that wants you to fucking go to, literal hell for, a man that she could probably better than?
Yeah, I mean, she didn't expect them to be so accepting, but they were after a bit of initial you sure about this? They're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, no, if I was that crew, I would have been like, you need to turn this shit around and get me the fuck off, because
They're very attached to her at this point.
yeah, you see, that's something they gotta work on, you know? Attachment issues are not healthy.
So Tress tries to think up ideas for how to handle the Midnight Sea, but she finds herself coming up blank as she is too tired. However, just as she's feeling hopeless, her friends show up with ideas they've been working on. Fort's suggestion is to use a cannonball of verdant spores to capture the mechanical army, since they apparently can't be killed. So yeah, what do you think about the others coming to help her with all the suggestions for how to get through the sorceress's different defenses?
They would never work.
I mean, I thought they were pretty cool. All those ideas were really good.
Yeah. Fort especially, I feel was really good at coming up with ideas.
It was pretty cool. I liked that they were all pitching in. I hated the fact that she tried to tell them they couldn't fucking help her. Like, what the hell? These people are giving you such good ideas.
Yeah. So the group then suggests that they could use verdant spores to get Huck to the window the sorceress lets her ravens out of, so that he can go in and unlock the door for them. Huck, however, states that the tower is coated in silver, so the vines won't work. He does admit he could get in anyways, but that they would have to get him to the tower in the first place, and the Midnight Sea is too dangerous. The others don't have a solution for the Midnight Essence within the Midnight Sea, though. However, Tress suddenly has an idea. So what did you initially think Huck was going to do to get into the tower? Before you found out what he does?
Honestly, I don't even remember what I thought originally. I just thought he was gonna be something he wasn't. I didn't think of what it was, but I definitely didn't. That plot or that thought didn't come till way later.
Yeah. Did you have any ideas, Darkness, about what Huck might have done to get in?
What part was this? What were they talking about?
This was before they find out Huck's a traitor and everything. This is Huck being I think I can get us into the tower, but he doesn't elaborate.
But he said he's hinted that he's gone in there before, right?
Yeah, he's hinted that he's been to the Sorceress's Island before.
No, well, I just assumed it was because he was cursed, you know. So he was there before.
I thought the same thing. I definitely thought he was cursed for sure, but
well, I mean, we're not wrong though.
You're not wrong.
No, but I mean, I've been thinking he was cursed since they first met. He's a talking rat, but
yeah, because especially when he's oh yeah, other rats this, like
Or
no,
he,
no,
I, he
bitch.
he made a comment about familiars. It was like nobody else has a familiar that has been sated yet, so kind of weird.
Yeah. So let me get to
Plus,
chapter.
she's a witch, supposedly, so witches would have familiars.
Yeah, I think I forget who it is that brings up. Maybe it's Ulam who brings up the familiar thing at some point, like in previous chapters. So chapter 55, the hypocrite. Tress gets
Yeah.
out 2 midnight spores while Huck scampers out of the room. The others seem nervous as Tress explains what she has learned about the spores and how to sever her connection with them if needed. Tress waters the spores as she explains more about how they are more alive than the other spores. Fort then accidentally bonds with them, but Tress takes control and then severs the connection. So what do you think about Tress trying to teach the others about the midnight spores?
Very smart, and I was kind of happy that they were actually trying to help
Definitely comes in
facilitate more
handy later.
information.
What
Oh yeah,
do you think, Darkness?
I had that same idea that they had, like after,
go out
you
the
know,
window
Mm,
or the
when she
whole
had already
idea.
left, and they were like, you know what, let's do it this way. Like,
Mhm.
why wouldn't you do that like water barrel shit?
Yeah, really good idea.
it was, yeah, the with the hang the verdant spores over it being like,
Mhm.
yeah, if you try and kill us, we'll just feed the water to these other spores. Fuck you.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's literally what I thought of too, and I'm like, oh my god, there's no way.
So they are then interrupted by Laggart knocking on the door. Laggart asks to speak to Tress alone before asking her to shoot him as he doesn't want to wait until she decides to throw him overboard. Tress replies that she's not going to shoot him and had already forgiven him. She offers to throw him into a cell if that makes him feel better, though, but she didn't plan on killing him. Laggart thinks about this for a minute and realizes that Tress means what she says. He hadn't been treated with kindness before, and it makes him flee the room as he realizes Tress is being kind to him. Tress watches him leave as she considers her plan to deal with the Midnight Essence. So what do you think about Laggart assuming Tress was like torturing him by not telling him what his punishment was going to be?
I hated him for that, but I also feel for him because like same.
I feel like this man needed to actually get killed, but
It's the overthinker in people.
I mean, my thought in the matter is that he's like her first mate, and to be honest, a captain's first mate really doesn't like they're not gonna just swap. So
Hmm.
not unless it's like they're the reason that it was mutinied, right? Like if the first mate's the one that was like we're mutinying, then yeah.
Yeah.
But he was definitely on her side. So
So then chapter 56, The Traitor. Sally runs over to Tress and brings her to Hoyt, who was in chains. Sally
I'm
explains
not
that
gonna
Hoyt
lie,
had.
when this was when the title was out, I was like, oh, this is he's here he is. She gave him an out, and
You
he's a
thought it was
traitor.
Laggart?
Yeah,
But nope, it's Huck.
yeah.
Yeah, so
That's what
Hoyt had been dumping food and water overboard, but Ulam points out that Hoyt is too stupid to have done this on his own, and that the water jugs he almost threw overboard were marked with chalk. Hoyt says that Huck had told him to do it and not to tell Tress. So what do you think about Huck's plan to get Hoyt to get rid of the food and water so Tress wouldn't go to the sorceress?
a good plan once you figured out what the actual reasoning was.
Mm-hmm. What do you think, Darkness,
Yeah,
about...
I wasn't surprised that was his motive.
Hmm.
That's honestly that's kind of where I started like feeling like Nuck was different. He wasn't
Hmm.
what they said like right here where he's like trying. He was like gun ho about going there, but like didn't actively stop her. And
Yeah.
now he's actively stopping her, and I was like, that's just very weird. I mean, I didn't like I said, I didn't pick up on the actual thing. Like I didn't even think about that. So, but I had the idea that he's cursed, but the thing is that I don't think I thought it fully through on like the curse, like because Boyd can't talk about their curse, so
Yeah.
that would mean that if curse also couldn't talk about their curse. So, but I put two and two together originally.
Yeah. He's gonna just like, we're getting way too close to the Midnight Sea now. I need to like do some more drastic actions.
I mean, to be honest, Huck should have known that Tress wasn't gonna like stop.
I think he was just hoping though that the crew wasn't gonna like agree with her. That like maybe someone else would like force her to turn around at some point, and like she wouldn't just Like she's not gonna be able to get there on her own. So I think he was just hoping that like he could keep like messing things up so that she just kept not being able to get there.
I mean, I think I started really putting things together, like really when she was like, "I'm going alone," and Huck was the one going, "Hey, I want to go with you." I was
Hmm.
like, "This is weird." I thought, honestly, I didn't think about the board. I thought she was looking through Huck's eyes.
Yeah, that would have been interesting if she was able to like, yeah, see what he sees type thing. So
Well, I was
Tress,
kind of confused that the board, because didn't they change the board out?
yeah, they did change the board out, but she's still able. She basically just like hacks into it.
What? Um, I think at some point I even considered Huck. Like, I was like, is he like some sort of like war creature?
Hmm.
I don't know. It was the fact that he was so adamant about like not going to the place, you know?
Yeah, he was very adamant that Tress should not go there. He's like, you should just go back home. It's fine. Just you should just go. He's not worth it. Go home.
When he later when he disappears on that like during that conversation where
Yeah.
like the the lady witch whatever is like sorceress is like, I told you, like say it or whatever, right? I
Yeah.
was like, oh, what the fuck, he is this board thing, because he literally just like disappeared, but you know, whatever.
He like ran off into a
Uh,
corner or something, I
Not
think.
gonna lie, the moment she said that, I was like, "Yeah, I know who this is." Like the
Yeah.
moment she was like, "Yep, I told you," I was like, "Okay, that the person she's walking out with is not who she thinks it is." Like I was like, "That's not happening," and then I put two and two together. Like,
Yeah.
no, that makes sense. Crazy that she had him with her the whole time.
Yep. So Tress goes to see Huck in her old room, and Huck apologizes for not staying for the spore experiment, but that the midnight spores make him anxious. Tress states that their food stores are surprisingly low, and Huck says they'll need to head back to restock then, before catching on that Tress knows he's behind it. Huck says he did it for Tress's own good. Hoyt then mentions that these words are meant to be comforting, but come out condescending whenever anyone says them. You would know as he said those words with 16 other people. So what do you think about this little thing about how basically like the implication here is that Hoyd's saying that the reason they took out Adolnasium, him and the people who eventually became the 16 shards, was because they thought it was for Adolnasium's own good. That they didn't
Yeah,
trust him
I'm
to make his
sure.
own decisions.
I'm sure. I mean, everybody who, I mean, every villain, right? Not saying that they're villains, but just every villain in a story thinks that they're the hero
Mm-hmm.
or thinks that they're doing the right thing.
Wait, that's him and 16 others, right?
Yeah, so it's been mentioned before briefly that I think there's been little hints before that Hoyd said, or like there's been hints that Hoyd was there when Adolnasium was shattered, but he didn't take a shard. So there was like him and the 16 people who took the shards, they all went and killed Adolnasium, apparently for his own good. And then the 16 others outside of Hoyd took shards,
By the way,
but Hoyd
by the way,
didn't.
I called
Yeah,
it. I called why he was cursed. I called it
you did,
very,
yeah.
very early on. I was like, huh, that's weird. You know, I literally like was screaming for joy about the fact that I was like, I knew it.
But yeah, so I think we've talked though about how like we've theorized about why they killed Adolnasium before, and so apparently it's not fully that they thought Adolnasium was like evil or something. They just thought it was for the best, not just for humans and like the Cosmere. They thought it was best for Adolnasium to be shattered for whatever reason.
Yeah, they're probably fighting themselves anyways. So it's like splitting up a family. Like, all right, you guys need your timeouts. Move away. You go to this corner of the universe. You go to that corner of the universe. And don't come back.
Um,
Don't come back until you've learned your lesson.
Also, I don't know if we've talked about it before, but what do you think about the fact that like Hoyd was there, but Hoyd did not want to become one of the shards? Like he very obviously like he was there but didn't take a shard.
I don't want to be a shard, but now I want all of them.
Well, the thing is though, like if somebody offered me the power, right,
Hmm.
of like a god, but it changed me in a way where like I'm basically not myself anymore, I wouldn't want it either.
But the question is, did they know that it was going to change them so much to take the shards?
Hoyd
But does
probably
he
knew.
need to know, considering that like his whole ability is like fortune or whatever?
Yeah, I think Hoyd actually, knew in some way
Hmm.
or had a feeling.
Yeah, he obviously probably at least had a thing of like, what's it going to do to a person to gain that much power?
He just doesn't want that much power, to be honest.
Cause like, what if he was just
He
like, it
does
doesn't feel
now,
right,
but
let me not do it.
I mean, it seems like he does now, but maybe then
Yeah.
he was like, I don't want this.
Well, he's going for like the powers themselves deriving from the shards, not the
Yeah,
shards,
he's
right?
not trying to actually take any of the actual shards. He's just trying to take a bunch of different magic systems.
Yes, but I mean, that's still the powers
Yeah, it's like having the powers without having
responsibility.
the responsibility, but also like he doesn't have like fully like the abilities of a god. It's more so he's like trying to just become the most powerful person outside of a shard almost, because he's like gaining all the magic systems without actually taking on like what's considered like the infinite power of a shard. Yeah, it's always interesting when we get these little like hints about like the shattering of Adonasium and everything and what happened then, because we've not gotten like the full picture yet. So Tress then puts Huck into a bird cage to keep him from sabotaging them more. As she considers what will happen if they go to restock, a group of Dougs approach her and tell her that they think they should keep going, that if they run out of food, they can eat the verdant vines for a bit. Tress is shocked that you can eat the verdant vines and thanks them. They just reply that after all the delicious food she has made them, they were fine eating vines for a little bit. So what do you think about the crew agreeing to continue their mission even though they are low on food?
I'm not surprised. Like, I wanted them to do that too. So
Yeah. You weren't surprised that they were all like, you know what? We can handle eating like gross, like tasteless spore vines. I
yeah,
mean, at least they stopped him from pouring the water overboard.
Okay.
Welcome back. Were you able to hear everything while you were gone?
Nope.
So basically, it's just the Dugs have come back to say like we're okay to keep going even though a bunch of the food was thrown overboard, so we can eat
Mhm.
the verdant vines.
Oh yeah, the bonds. Yeah. Doug. The Dougs.
Yeah, the Dugs. And then Tress has also put Huck back into the bird cage as his little
Yeah.
prison.
With 4 bucks.
So then we get chapter 57, The Maligned Fashion Expert. So Tress thinks more on how they'll get to the Sorceress's Island, and if they do, how she'll ever even get Charlie out. She also realizes they're relying on Huck to get them into the tower after he just betrayed them. They soon see the edge of the Midnight Sea, and Tress suggests waiting until morning to enter it. She also asks for a double watch to keep an eye out for rain and midnight essence. Tress suddenly feels very uncertain about going through to the Midnight Sea, so she goes to see Ulam. Tress tells Ulam that she doesn't think she can defeat the sorceress like everyone expects. Ulam just replies that of course she can't, and that everyone is expecting to die, although the sorceress won't be able to kill him and or Hoyd. Definitely not Hoyd. So what do you think about Ulam implying that Hoyd cannot die?
It's immortal.
I mean that makes sense.
Well, it's not just that he's immortal, like he's implying that he's like invulnerable or invincible or something as well as immortal. Because we've known a lot of immortal people and they definitely can die.
Nah, he can't die. Doesn't
But
make
yeah,
him invulnerable. It makes him immortal.
so do you think though that Ulam's implying that he's just like straight up like unable to be killed, or is he just more so saying that like the sorceress doesn't know of a way to kill him?
Um, kind of a later, to be honest.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think it's he just straight up can't be killed.
Okay.
I think there's a way he can get killed. We haven't figured it out yet.
Hmm.
Everybody has a weakness.
So Tress is angry at Ulam for making jokes in this situation, causing Ulam to laugh nervously. Tress apologizes for snapping at him, but she can't let the others die for her quest to save Charlie. Ulam just replies that the others want to help someone after all the people that they are responsible for killing, even though they hadn't meant to kill those people. Ulam mentions that the sorceress likely already knows Tress is coming and is waiting to see how Tress will deal with her defenses. Tress asks if she can impress the sorceress enough to have her let Charlie go, but Ulam says that's unlikely. Tress seems defeated, and Ulam replies that he is meant to stay neutral, but Hoyd is also meant to, and he never does. So what do you think about the sorceress knowing that Tress is coming?
That didn't go at all.
You weren't surprised?
No. I had a feeling she knew she was coming. I didn't really like pinpoint like, oh, it's this, but
Yeah, but you were kind of like, she's gotta know, right? Like, she's apparently
yeah.
super powerful.
Uh,
What do you think,
our
Darkness?
sorcerer supreme, you know.
I mean, yeah, I agree, but like I didn't expect her to know the way she does, you know.
Yeah. You didn't expect it just to be like, oh, she's just she's not
Yeah.
like all knowing. She's
Here's
just
the thing,
hacking into
here's the thing. I'm pretty
the
sure we had
tablet.
that conversation too. I'm pretty sure we had that conversation when we were talking about the tablet originally, that it could be hacked. I don't think I even still put that together.
Yeah. Yeah, when we get to the sorceress, we'll talk about some of her technology that she's got. Because I remember when Jesus and I read this for the first time, we were just like, "What the fuck?" She has like, it's just like a tablet and like a laptop. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I think she was playing solitaire.
She was.
Yeah, she's playing solitaire on her laptop while she's waiting for Tress to get up there.
It's just like, she's coming. She'll be here any minute now. I'll just play this one game of a game that's insanely hard to beat without cheating.
So Tristan asks if Hoyd is more powerful than.
Wait, she's actually gambling, like
Oh,
playing
God.
poker and shit.
Oh my gosh.
She's gambling with shard powers.
She's gambling with other people across the Cosmere. There's like a giant internet that's like connecting all these planets together.
I mean, I honestly would put it past Ren to make that.
So Tristan asks if Hoyd is more powerful than the sorceress, and Ulam says it's hard to judge.
Yes.
But yes, Hoyd probably is. He doesn't.
I said yes. He is.
He definitely
There's
is
no
by
way.
the end of the book.
There's no way even.
Pardon?
I knew. I said I knew before, 100% before. I was like, there's no way. He's definitely more powerful. Like, he has so many powers.
But yeah, so Ulam doesn't know how Hoyd got cursed by the sorceress, but if anyone could defeat her, it would be Hoyd. Ulam also thinks that Hoyd may have gotten cursed on purpose and is just struggling more than expected to break it. Hoyd, the narrator, agrees with this. Tress realizes she doesn't need to defeat the sorceress, she just needs to defeat Hoyd's curse. So yeah, what did you think about the I think it might have been brought up previously about Hoyd potentially getting cursed on purpose, but what did you think about that?
There's no way he didn't. And then when they revealed the fact that it was a bet, I was like, that's such a Hoyd thing, to be honest.
Yeah, it's such a Hoyd thing.
To be honest, I would have been surprised if he got cursed just by like talking some dumb shit.
That's fair too. If he just went out there and be like, "Hey, how's it going?" She's like, "Fuck you, dude."
Hey, give me
He
this
was probably
power.
like,
I know you can.
he was like probably like, you need to go outside somewhere, like or some shit. And then she was like, how dare you?
He insulted her cat, and she's like, "Fuck you, dude."
Hoyd, you need to touch grass.
It should have been a hairless cat.
No, it's a big fluffy white cat.
It should have been a hairless cat.
So Tristan goes to look at cups and considers herself both the pewter tankard and the determined, not suicidal anymore, butterfly. She grabs both and goes to Sally, telling her she's going to head off into the Midnight Sea alone. And then we get chapter 58, The Monster. So the crew does not want Tress to go off alone into the Midnight Sea. However, Tress says that she just wants to test her plan with the Midnight Essence, as there is no point in going into the Midnight Sea just for everyone to die. Sally tries to insist that this is a bad idea, but Tress is stubborn, so she asks to speak to Tress alone. Sally tells Tress that the crew needs Tress for them to be a good crew after working under Crow. She also says that she can't demand Tress listen to her, as they need to make sure defying their captain was an extreme measure with Crow and not a new habit. Tress insists, however, on going alone and has Sally get her the rowboat. Huck, however, nearby in his cage, insists on going with Tress, even if he's kept in the cage. Tress hesitates, but does bring him into the rowboat with her. She also brings a keg of water and some cups. So what did you think about Tress insisting on going alone to test her plans on the Midnight Essence?
I knew she was just going to go straight to the sorceress, to be honest.
What did you think, Darkness?
Kind of wanted her to go in and come back with like a swarm of fucking
Yeah, same.
like four creatures.
An army of spore creatures.
So Tresson rows herself out for an hour until she can't see the ship or the Crimson Sea anymore. She then waits for something to happen. The sky slowly gets darker until the sun goes behind the midnight moon. Soon, though, she sees a long creature moving through the spores towards her. Having little experience with water and sea creatures, Tress finds the way it moves to be unnatural. Hoyt explains that he doesn't know if Midnight Essence is sentient, but is able to follow commands. Tress reaches out to touch it, and Hoyt mentions that Tress's idea was good because the sorceress can't actively control so many Midnight Essence creatures. However, Tress was too new to sprouting and could not rebuff the commands of the sorceress had in place. As the creature rears up to attack Tress, Huck speaks up. He says to take them to see the sorceress as he is free passage. Huck had returned to the sorceress as commanded. So what did you think about that? Of Huck, basically being able to control the Midnight Essence because he has free passage? Were you surprised when that happened?
Not really. Nothing really surprises me with Huck, but no, he's a shocking rat. I mean, I do think the thought that went through my head that this was the sorceress, but
Oh, really?
I was like, oh, you had her all along.
What did you think, Darkness, about Huck talking to the Midnight Essence and getting it to do what he wants?
Yeah, I was still on the thought of like maybe he's one of them. So like,
Fair enough. So then we get chapter 59, The Prisoner. Tress is brought to the sorceress by several Midnight Essence and arrives at the island by morning. Huck had refused to explain himself. The island was surprisingly small and circular. It had a couple trees that were not the right species to grow there, and thus weren't doing very well. Tress accuses Huck of lying to her and working for the sorceress, which he quietly agrees with. Tress also thinks that Huck had done everything he could to keep her away from here, so it was hard to blame him. She also notes that there had been an unknown obstacle of hidden rocks in the spores around the island. So what do you think about the fact that there was this other obstacle that even Huck hadn't mentioned?
I just thought he was a traitor, so.
Fair enough. What do you think,
what's the
Darkness?
obstacle?
The rocks in the water, or in the spores. He hadn't known about them.
Oh well, I mean, we don't even know how you got brought up in there, right?
Yeah, I just at this point it's seems like Huck is working for her, so it seems like
Traitor.
so it kind of is supposed to seem like that he left it out on purpose. Also, here was an image we got from the previous chapter.
Although some of the images are crazy.
Yeah, so that's Tress
When she
with the Midnight Essence creature.
wait, I kind of like the little like sort of POV from
Well,
like
yeah.
the creature's side, you know?
What do you mean?
Where it was like I think it was Hoyd depicting what the creature probably thought and shit.
Oh yeah.
Where it was like uh a salami jumping into your mouth and shit, you
Oh,
know?
yeah. Yeah, that was pretty funny, to be honest.
And then Mythic. This is the Sorceress's Island and Tower. So yeah, it's a very small
No,
island with
because that
a.
picture we get after about that tower. Because I was like, that tower looks so weird to me, and it makes sense.
Yeah,
Like a
once you
Crayola
find out that
town.
it's a spaceship.
It's like a Crayola town.
Yeah. It's so
Uh, hmm?
I don't know how spaceships look like in real life though. I don't know why it's so chunky, but that one looks chunkier than usual.
I think usually they have fins on the side and stuff like that. So
They do.
it's.
I mean, hers does too, but
Oh
like
yeah, I
it's
think
at the
you're
bottom.
there. Yeah, there's I think an image later on because there's part of it's underground. So you'll
A
see in
lot of it
a
is underground.
yeah. So Mythic will see in a
Yeah.
couple in a couple chapters what it looks like when it leaves the planet. Um, yeah, so Tress, remember that. As they reach the island, Tress notices the golden metal soldiers with spears and shields. They would look like humans in full armor if they weren't so unnaturally still. Tress is lifted by the Midnight Essence and carried towards the wide tower. Once they reach the door, Huck tells the door to open as he's brought a captive as instructed. The door opens for him. The Midnight Essence then shoves Tress into the tower with her belongings, as it can't follow her due to all the silver. The door closes behind Tress, leaving her only option to head up to the sorceress. So what did you think about Huck saying that he brought a captive as instructed? What was your first thoughts when you heard that?
Traitor. Traitor.
What was your first thoughts, Darkness?
Uh, I like I could tell that it wasn't just that, you know.
Mm.
Maybe he believed so at some point, because like later on he was like, I realized like halfway through here that I wasn't bringing you because of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like even if he was a creature for her, you know, like I didn't believe that he was like bringing her
Mm.
for a bad purpose.
I mean, I don't think it was a bad purpose at all, to be honest.
So then we get Chapter 60, The Sorceress. Huck hurries up the stairs as Tress glances around the metal corridor. A red carpet went down the middle of the stairs and had Aeons written on it. The walls also had panels that reminded Tress of Fort's writing board and glowed a white light. At the top of the stairs, a door slid open for Tress to reveal a cozy-looking circular room. The floor had a map of the planet inscribed into it. The sorceress sat at a desk with a fluffy white cat on her lap while she worked on her laptop playing solitaire. Her skin glowed with a silvery tone, and she looked like she was in her 50s, although Hoyd mentions that's how old she would have been when she had stopped aging. The sorceress put down her laptop and shooed her cat out of the room as Huck shied away from it, on top of her desk. So did you realize right away what the sorceress was, like where she was from?
Nope.
Did you realize, Darkness?
I thought it was Atlantis at some point, but
It is
no.
Elantris. She's an Elantриan.
Oh, it
After,
is?
yeah. I figured that out after. I didn't figure that
Yeah.
out before.
I was just wondering if you'd figured out, because like they describe her specifically as like the staircase having aeons and then her having the silvery skin.
Mm-hmm. No, I
Yeah,
didn't put it all
yeah.
together until literally
That
Hoyd fucking changed.
that's what that's what
Which I thought made so much more sense once he figured that out. You know, that
Yeah.
Aeons are what's really like doing the curse part.
Yep. What were you saying, Darkness?
forgot.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I it was along the lines of like I was considering her being an Atlantean or whatever, but I didn't really remember how their hair worked.
Hmm.
Cause like for some reason in my head, Atlanteans are always blonde.
I think you're thinking of the Iriali for some
Yes.
reason.
Yeah. No. Yeah. That's exactly what I'm thinking about. I keep mixing them up.
Yeah, no, they're slightly different.
Wait, you thought the Elantrians were pale or blue-eyed, pale
Oh, I don't know about blue eyed. I don't
blonde?
remember their fucking eyes.
I was making a joke.
No,
uh,
wait, what color are their eyes?
I think their eyes can
Depends.
be any color, but they get
Yeah.
like a slightly silvery hue to them when they become
I feel like
Elantrians. Because
they got some that
I think they
even.
say that Raoden, his eyes turn like completely like white or silver, but Galadon, who has like darker skin and darker eyes, his just lighten slightly and become a bit more silvery, but he still has darker skin and darker eyes.
You mean he's a dark eye? Okay.
Yeah. Also, what do you think about an Elantrian coming to another planet like this and like trying to like take over?
Hey man, that's exactly what darkness would do.
It's true.
Go ahead, darkness. Tell me otherwise.
You were an immortal
Alright.
Elantrian darkness. Would you come take over a planet that was less
No,
technologically
let's
advanced?
let's make it even
You
more broad.
actually have
Let's
to
make it even
ask
more
that
broad.
question?
Yeah, let's make it even more broad. Okay, if you had any of these powers, would you not go to another planet without those powers and just do this kind of thing? Like,
Yeah, so I would start off with like, the least technologically advanced, and then I would build that planet up, move on to the next least technologic. I would Thanos this bitch.
Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
And then after I have my little army of worlds, I would try to conquer the one I came from.
Oh goodness.
So
Isn't
Tress
that
and
kind of what the one woman did or whatever? I can't remember. That's the god from the other book or
Autonomy?
whatever. Yeah, that's it.
I mean,
I
she
love
already
that
controls her own planet, but yeah, she's basically been going around
Yeah,
taking
she
over other
controls her own
planets.
planet and then takes the people from that planet and tries to enslave other planets.
Yep.
Yeah, you see? That's like
Yeah,
a
that's exactly what
that's like
Darkness would do.
such a great
Darkness
plan.
is literally just autonomy. Yeah.
Yep.
So Trish proclaims that she is to feed the sorceress by getting through her 4 trials and getting to the sorceress herself. She then says that she demands that the sorceress release the person she loves. The sorceress just laughs and asks about Ulam, to which Tress awkwardly replies that he seemed to be enjoying his time on the ship. The sorceress says she had wanted him to visit, but understands why he wouldn't, considering she keeps some acid for him just in case. So what do you think about the sorceress like being ready with like ways to like kill Khandra and
Knowing,
other
yeah,
creatures?
knowing how to kill Khandra. She also made a comment about fire.
Yeah, I think she does
Right.
briefly. She like says she has like acid. I think she also says she has fire. It sounds like the
Yeah, but she
fire
said something
is
specific about the fire though.
She said all you need is a really good fire
He said really good fire. Okay, I just
or
remember it being
something like
like,
that. But like it's like you need fire to kill them.
uh
which I thought was weird because I thought
Oh yeah,
fire
she says I keep a vat of acid just for him. It's one of the only ways to be sure about them, you know. That or a good fire.
or good fire.
I'm assuming by good she means like a big one. Like I'm wondering if you can like
But
eventually like
my
burn
my
them.
my thought though, right, is more of so we know acid can kill them, right?
Yeah,
But she just said for you to know, like, be able to know precisely, right? Like, doesn't mean that the fire would have killed them. Maybe it just reveals them a lot better because
maybe.
what
Wait, why
human
wouldn't it
being
kill them?
lives for fucking fire? I mean, I
Well,
don't
as far
think
as
it
we know,
does.
acid
But
only kills them. That's what
yeah,
we've
the
been
only
told
one that
Well, the
kills
thing
them
previously.
is
is,
acid.
the reason why I'm assuming acid kills them is because it disintegrates every single fucking part of them.
And fire doesn't.
Fire pretty much does.
No, it
It'll kill
doesn't.
every part of
Fire can't burn
itself.
bone.
That's why she wants a really good fire, not just fire. It depends on the like
Yeah, I
how
guess
strong that fire
cremation.
is.
Yeah,
Throw them
if
into a
you're gonna
sun
cremate
and
them.
they'll die, I guess.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I mean, I guess you
Like
could cremate them too, but yeah,
not only
maybe not
that,
the
but if
ash.
you have
That's still
magical
got
powers, you can,
molecular.
Mm.
summon a good fire.
Oh, God. Yeah, you're using aeons, yeah, for sure.
Like just put a little campfire symbol and then times
I
like
mean,
1,000 or
could
some
you
shit.
just put aeons up that, like, say if it's a Chandra, do something,
Potentially.
If
turn the wall into
Chandra,
acid.
burn in hell.
If Chandra turn the wall into acid.
Yeah.
If Chandra acid. If Chandra drugs.
If Chandra ruin them.
If
Oh
Hoyd
no.
verdant spores trap him, he can't be killed.
Yep.
If Hoyd fashion icon.
Then he
Also,
changed
that
his name
fucking
from
outfit
Void.
was disastrous. Ooh,
Yeah,
I
well,
wanted to fucking throw up all over my phone when I saw that shit.
I love his outfit. People have been cosplaying him in that outfit.
Oh
I
god.
hate that
I
shit
want to see this
With
so
the
picture
much.
now.
Hawaiian shirt, with the socks and sandals. There'll be a
And
picture coming
like
up
he's
soon.
basically got red booty shorts. Like
Does he? Well, we'll get to it. I think it's chapter 64 has
he has
the...
different colored socks.
He does. But yeah, we'll get to that in chapter 64. So the sorceress walks over the map of the planet, which Hoyd's notes is called Lumar. The sorceress asks Tress if she really thought pretending to be captured on purpose would work, so instead Tress suggests trading her flare gun for Charlie. The sorceress says she's seen the flare gun and gestures to her laptop, which Tress realizes is showing an image coming from Fort's writing board, that the sorceress had obviously been using to spy on them. So what do you think about the sorceress hacking into Fort's board and spying on them through it?
Because we talked about it, and I still
Yeah.
didn't even think about it. I was still super surprised by it.
I like how the Elantrians are just hackers. They're like, he didn't put the security stuff on. It was easy to hack into.
He made his password 1234.
Congratulations, you won
He didn't even set a
an iPhone.
password. So Tress again tries to
He made his
initiate.
password.
It's password 1 because you need a number. Tress again tries to initiate a trade, but the sorceress just says that she has more advanced technology, and others had already made similar flare guns in other parts of Tress's planet that just hadn't gotten everywhere yet. Tress deflates a little, but Huck gives her an encouraging gesture. Tress then begins to think about the situation and why the sorceress is just speaking with her instead of cursing her or capturing her. The sorceress then tells the spirit of the tower to open the holding cell. Charlie runs out, claiming that Tress had saved him as he runs over to her. Tress feels suspicious as the sorceress says she'll trade Charlie for the 2 cups that Tress had brought. She also says a little rhyme to uncurse Charlie. The sorceress then taunts Huck and he slinks off into the darkness. Tress places her cups on the shelf and begins heading down the stairs with Charlie, but can't help but feel an overwhelming sadness as he speaks. So did you realize right away that this wasn't the real Charlie?
Yes. Yes. The moment he came out and wasn't traumatized, I was like, yeah, this ain't Charlie.
He's like, Tress, you saved me! And it's like, that's a weird reaction.
I started thinking about Huck being Charlie, so
Yeah.
that was a little, in my opinion, that was a little too late. because it was kind of already a given after that.
What did you think, Darkness? Did you instantly think that's not Charlie?
It creeped me out for sure when he
He
first popped up, and I was like,
was like, I don't know about that
Also,
guy.
why him?
What do you mean?
Like, why did she choose to keep him?
Who, Charlie?
You know what I
She was
mean?
given. Oh,
I feel like she's just
no.
bored.
Yeah, I mean, she was given him, like, what does it matter? It's basically free to her. And then she tried to get another plaything, so.
Yep. So Tress looks into Charlie's eyes as he smiles at her, thinking that he's the same, but she isn't. But then she realizes that the smile is just one step too far. It isn't truly Charlie. She rushes back up the stairs and tells the sorceress that this man isn't Charlie. The sorceress asks what Tress thinks she did with Charlie, and Tress replies that the sorceress turned Charlie into a rat. So then we get chapter 61, The Man. Tress goes on about how Huck couldn't say things about this place that would allow him to reveal that he was Charlie. The sorceress asks how Huck could have told her about the defenses of the island then, and Tress replies it's because Huck was talking about keeping Tress away from the island, which means that her being here is how to break his curse. Tress then hears Charlie sniffling in a corner, and she picks him up. Charlie apologizes to her for bringing her here for her to curse Tress when he just wanted to keep Tress safe. The light weaving on the fake Charlie then falls away to reveal a lizard-looking person. Boyd guesses that this... Huh?
Lizard people are real.
Boyd guesses that the sorceress wanted to send the fake Charlie onto the ship to keep an eye on him. So yeah, what do you think this lizard person is?
Well, I don't know, but
Do you think it's like something she created? Do you think it's like another race of people on a different planet?
I think it's a race
It's a
of people
Spider-Man
on
villain.
It's a Spider-Man villain.
The green gecko.
No,
Sorry,
it's like the lizard.
the thing you think that it's just like there's like a race of lizard people on another planet somewhere?
Yeah. Either that or it's a cursed person.
Another cursed person.
Well, because doesn't what's her name in the other book use aeons to change who she is almost entirely? Or is it, no, that's a different thing. Never mind. That's a whole different
Yeah.
power.
Damn,
I
it's a
forgot about.
stamp.
Yeah, that's it. A stamp, which still to me seems a lot very similar to aeons, but
What do you think, Darkness?
The stamps actually remind me of that one dude from Jujutsu Kaisen.
yeah.
You think this is like someone cursed? Do you think it's just like a creature she somehow made? Do you think it's like a race of people?
Yeah, go ahead,
I
Darkness.
feel like
Be
it's a
racist.
race of people.
You think it's a race of
I
people
want it
as
to.
well?
Yeah, I want it to be, and
I
it'll
know
be
you do.
funny because well, I'm saying it'll be funny. It was funny to me because in my head, when she turned around to look at the creature,
Yeah.
in my head he was like leaning against the door frame, like, "Hey, how you doing?"
That just shifts into a lizard.
Just smiling and shit, I'm just happy to be here.
So the sorceress's playful demeanor changes to serious and cold. Tress tells Charlie how much she loves the butterfly cup and the pewter tankard. Charlie tells Tress that the only way for him to be free of his curse is for Tress to be cursed. He says he should have thrown himself overboard instead of staying with her. Tress, however, states that she is okay with being cursed together with him. Tress then asks why Charlie's curse hasn't been lifted yet, and the sorceress replies it's because Tress hasn't been cursed yet. So what do you think about the only way to uncurse Charlie is for Tress to be cursed?
I knew it wasn't the only way. I mean, I didn't think of how, but I'm just saying I knew it wasn't going to be like the only way. Honestly, I thought she was going to trick her and, get a curse, but not an actual curse.
Get like something that's like not really that detrimental.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think, Darkness?
What
What do you think about the way to break Charlie's curse being to curse Tress?
Wait, that was part of the wording, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it was not specifically Tress herself, but it was like you need to bring someone you care about to be cursed or something like that.
So how the fuck did he end up breaking the curse anyway at the end? If
Hoyd explains how he did it. We'll go over that.
And his infinite
no, but
wisdom.
he just says he changed the wording to her.
He says he changed the wording so that instead of it was
Bring her home.
Yeah,
it was like you have to take
can
her
take
home
someone
and
to
like
her home or like
and
great.
read her prose or something. He had to like read her a poem. He was like doing like weird like wordplay stuff to like try and make it work.
Okay, that's so weird. Like
It,
what?
it was very weird, but he was like, I can only change the wording of the curse, so he was like doing his best to like do something. Sorry for the coughing.
Oh my god! Wait, wait. This bitch went to fucking this or someone else doing the exact same shit went to Warbreaker. There's no way,
What do you
right?
mean?
Cause like the curses, bruh.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean?
Like the supposed
The one
like super
midnight
strong
woman or whatever.
friend or
I
whatever
can't remember.
that
Yeah.
gives out curses. The Night Watcher,
Oh,
whatever the
that's
fuck.
not
Yeah.
Warbreaker. That's Stormlight
That's
Archive.
Storm. Yeah.
That
I was like, how does this relate to
not
Warbreaker?
Warbreaker. My bad.
The person who gave all of the undead people their life back, you know?
Which was one of the
No, but you
shards.
know what I mean? Like, what if it's just that?
You think the Night Watcher might be an Elantrian?
Yeah, or like, yeah. Uh-huh. Or what if she just blasted off into that area? Because this is literally like the same exact thing.
It's possible. We haven't met the Night Watcher yet in Stormlight, and I'm not
And they
gonna
can't
give
talk
any
about their.
spoilers.
They technically can't talk about their curses either, right?
I think they can. Because they give a curse and a boon, so like there's
Okay, so maybe
no
it's just
like
a different condition.
hmm?
It's a different
Maybe
condition.
it's
It,
yeah, a
it's
different
yeah, it's
thing.
like slightly different, but like yeah, I can see how it could be like very similar and like considering you guys have yet to meet the Night Watcher, it is very possible that they're like, oh, silvery person, that's a spren. Because everyone says the Night Watcher is a spren.
Yeah. Can you change your appearance with Aeons?
Yeah, because she can do light weavings with Aeons, so she
Huh.
could put a light weaving on herself.
Yeah, I'm fully convinced that's what it is now.
Okay. We might find out in the next book.
We will find out. Or I quit the podcast permanently.
So Charlie then states that he can't be uncursed because he didn't bring Tress here to be cursed, but to defeat the sorceress. The sorceress replies this is stupid, but suddenly a bunch of red lights start to go off. She looks at her security cameras on her laptop and sees that the ship is coming through the Midnight Sea towards the island. So were you shocked that the ship was suddenly sailing towards the...
No, not absolutely not. I was like, these motherfuckers are not listening to her one bit. They gonna be here. At her time of need.
What about
Here
you,
they are.
Darkness?
At her time of need.
What's
Were
the
you
question?
expecting them to show up?
Oh, no, but it was fucking cool the way they showed up.
They came to save the day. I imagine like Pirates of the Caribbean music playing while they're
Yeah,
like
that's what I was
sailing.
thinking too.
That's what I imagine like as they're like going through the Midnight Sea.
I imagine them like having a little like turbo blast from the back of the ship, just zooming across.
So we get chapter 62, The Hunter. We switch back to the day before on the ship, and one of the Dougs had watched Tress being taken away by the Midnight Essence and had reported that back to the crew. After a vote that they all, except for Laggart, had agreed to sail the Midnight Sea after Fort gave a suggestion for how to deal with the Midnight Essence. Once the first creatures came to get them, Fort had spores dangling over kegs of water. He told the Midnight Essence that if they approached the crew, they would feed the other spores the water and also throw themselves into the sea to feed other midnight spores instead of the ones on the ship. Fort makes a deal with the creatures that he will give them all of the water in the kegs if they protect them as they go to the island. So what did you think about Fort's little deal here with the Midnight Essence?
Absolutely insanely smart.
I loved it. What did you
That's what
think,
I
Dick?
expected it to do.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you were
Yeah,
saying earlier that like that's what you would have done.
yeah, or whatever.
So we switch back to the sorceress and Tress and Charlie as the sorceress begins awakening her army. Tress cries over the others coming for her like she came for Charlie and hurries over to the sorceress's laptop to try to warn the others about the rocks hidden in the spores. The laptop happily begins video conferencing to them. Fort is surprised to see Tress as she warns him and Anne and Sally about the rocks. Sally asks if Tress orders them to turn around and Tress says no, she wants them to help her. Tresson thinks of Hoyd when Anne makes a bad joke and realizes that to break Hoyd's curse, he must also have to come back to the sorceress, since he hadn't been able to tell Tress where the island was. She remembers his words about bringing him to Tress's planet, and she looks down at the map of her planet on the floor of the room. She hurriedly asks the others to bring Hoyd to talk to her. So what did you think about Hoyd's thing about, like, you need to bring me to your planet being about, like, this, like, big map of her planet in the sorceress's tower?
I feel like that was a loophole, to be honest.
Huh. That is kind of weird, cause like, how does not being on the planet originally not work for that? Oh,
Uh,
cause we don't know the exact wording, huh?
would you
Cause we don't know the exact
wording of the curse, you
question,
mean?
like, yeah, of his curse, yeah.
Yeah. Do you understand why she has a map of Lumar in her tower?
Nope.
Mythic, do you know why?
No clue.
So, if you remember, Elantrians specifically, in order to use Aeons,
Oh yeah,
had to have a
Yeah.
map of
all about that.
Elantris. And
Forgot all
so,
about the
in
fact
order
that
to
they're
use, yeah,
freaking
so in
Aeons
order to
are
use
like,
Aeons on other planets, they need to have a map. They have to, like, adjust their magic to the planet so that they can use it away from Elantris.
about that. To be honest.
Yeah, so she has a map of Lumar so that she can use her Aeons on Lumar. That's also how Hoyd's able to use Aeons as soon as he gets the powers as well, because they have the map in front of them. The sorceress notices what Tress is doing and shouts out a command to stop the communication to Fort's tablet. She then creates an Aeon in the air, which slams Tress into a wall and traps her there. Charlie climbs up the sorceress to try and bite away the lines of light, but it doesn't work. Instead, Tress tells Charlie she loves him and to help the others get into the tower, which he eagerly agrees to do. Chapter 63, The Pilot. The sorceress wasn't angry or frightened yet, just annoyed. She assumed Hoyd must be behind how the ship got this far, and that Hoyd had gotten around his curse somehow. Hoyd, however, states that his greatest ability is to stick close to important people. So what do you think of the sorceress assuming Hoyd was orchestrating everything?
Because he always is. Heck, he's the one telling the story right now.
What did you think, Darkness?
Wait, who thinks what?
So the sorceress thinks that Hoyd's behind everything. She doesn't believe that,
Oh
like,
yeah.
Tress and, like, the crew are smart enough to have, like, gotten here. She's like, nah, Hoyd obviously got around his curse and he's the one telling them how to get here.
The way Hoyd barely even did anything.
Right. Also, by the way, huge theory,
Yeah.
huge theory.
Okay.
Because we already read the whole book.
Yeah.
That what if this is just a story, right? And this is just how Hoyd wants to become a Lantern.
He's not a lantern. This is just all
Like, he's
make
not
believe.
actually. This is all some make believe. He's telling some young Elantrian so that maybe she'll enact it, and then he can actually live this out and become an Elantrian.
That'd be fucked up.
Right? Like, I was thinking about that. I was like, what if he just wants to be it so bad? He's like, I'm gonna tell this story. It's like I made the comment quite a few times now about how does he know certain details, like that he's not there for.
Yeah. So I mean, I think it's been confirmed by Brandon that this is supposed to be like something that actually like is a canon event that happened, but obviously probably a lot of the like people's like thoughts and feelings and some certain things are slightly either like changed or Hoyd's like guessing on certain things that he's not there for. It's like, oh, I think Tress was thinking this way based on her actions, or I think Huck was thinking this way based on his actions, or they probably had this sort of conversation to make the story flow, but it's all supposed to be based on like people who are supposed to be like canon real. It's not just a Hoyd made up story. It is like Tress is supposed to be a real character. Her planet is real. Charlie was real. Rena the Elantrian here is real. It was all a real story, but he's like, it's like how like say like a friend tells you a story and then you relay that story to someone else. It did happen, but you're probably like
Not telling the right
making
person.
connections that like you're not 100% sure of. So Hoyd was currently near the helmswoman's station, wearing Huck's tiny pirate hat clipped into his hair. Sally is expertly sailing the ship between rocks as Anne asks Hoyd why Tress thinks he can save her. Hoyd just says he should take up painting to annoy the sorceress. He also states that painting on velvet would give great texture for licking. So Anne just gives up on talking to him. The sorceress then begins to get worried as Sally gets the ship past the rocks. Sorry, 1 second. I had to cough really bad there.
You know what that velvet thing reminds me of?
Yeah.
Alabaster Jack.
Alabaster Jack. Him licking the walls.
Yep.
Maybe Hoyd got that from him.
Possibly. Like I said, it's a made-up story.
Nuh-uh.
All of Alabaster Jack's stories are obviously 100% true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
Not my
factual.
Alabaster Jack. He would never lie.
Not mine.
So the sorceress begins to get worried as Sally gets the ship past the rocks. Her cat keeps Charlie from getting down the stairs of the tower. The sorceress then activates her middle men, but Anne and Leggert work together to hit them with cannonballs that explode with verdant vines. Hoyt also makes a reference to Kelsier as an old adversary of his, who states that there is a push for every pull in relation to Anne's fear of missing the cannonballs.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think about Anne find? Huh?
Said, oh man, I wonder what that's about. Pushing and pulling, huh?
He's like, oh yeah, an old adversary of mine. It's like, it's 100% Kelsier is who he's referring to. But yeah, what do you think about Anne finally being able to shoot a cannonball correctly?
I mean, like I said, I didn't think she was really that inept.
What did you think, Darkness? Were you proud of Anne?
Yes. I was like, this is... How old is she?
I don't know how old she is. I think she's probably like in her like 20s, maybe?
Regardless, this is my child.
Okay.
I like how she pulls up with the... I don't remember if we talked about this, but
Yeah.
I like how she pulls up with the... I've got 6 guns and 4 eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So we got chapter 64, The Hero. Tress finds herself almost relieved to be captured, as it had felt like things were going too well. The sorceress is very annoyed that her army, that was supposed to be unstoppable to a pre-industrial civilization, was stopped by these vines. Hoyd also explains that they are awakened, semi-self-aware soldiers. The programming of the soldiers made them a confused mess, as they would be fine to keep marching against cannonballs. So what do you think about the sorceress's army being awakened army? So basically they're similar to like the like stone lifeless that Basher has at the end of Warbreaker, but they're like giant like suits, metal suits of armor and stuff like that. So she not only has Elandrian power, she also has awakening powers.
My breath to yours.
Yes.
My breast to yours.
Breath.
Breast.
Uh-huh.
I don't know how much she got.
Don't know.
She got a lot of breast?
I don't know how much she wouldn't need a lot considering she already has immortality through being an Elantrian.
Well, but she's got a whole fucking army. That's like 1 breath per... Like, no, that's gonna be more.
Yeah, we don't know how many breath it takes to awaken these metal men. Yeah, also, what do you think about the downsides though of having these awakened soldiers versus like real soldiers? Because like they don't seem very smart.
Literally nothing. There's no
downside to them.
No. Mindless soldiers. There's never a downside to mindless soldiers. You give
They're like
them
normal
free
men.
will, they will betray you.
So Charlie comes over to Tress and says he's having trouble with the cat. Tress says it's okay as she hadn't expected to succeed. She watches as the crew races towards the tower with Hoyd. However, Charlie suddenly gets an idea and tells Tress to distract the sorceress. He then runs for the pewter tankard. Tress calls out to the sorceress, saying that it isn't so bad being captured. The sorceress doesn't understand this, as Tress is currently helpless. While they talk, Charlie is bouncing down the stairs in the pewter tankard. Tress tells the sorceress it's alright to need help, as everyone does sometimes. The sorceress just states that she is going to give Tress a terrible curse. So what do you think about how Charlie got past the cat?
Wait, how did he get past the cat?
He hid inside the pewter cup.
Oh, yeah. And then that's when
Like-
Hoyd was like, now think about this for a moment, and just like describes the whole scene of like what's happening.
Yeah.
That was
You
very
just-
Deadpool-y.
It just mentions it like a little bit while she's having the conversation with the sorceress of like you could just hear like the like dinging noise of the cup like bouncing down the stairs and like.
And then you hear the doors, like you hear him calling for the doors.
Yep.
Obviously, she didn't hear about it.
When he did that little like Frozen describing the scenery type thing though,
Yeah.
that's literally Deadpool type behavior.
It
Mhm.
is.
Gonna break that fourth wall.
So just as Tress is about to get blasted by the curse, Hoyd creates a shield from Aeons as he steps between them. Charlie is on his shoulder as the rest of the crew is with him. Hoyd states that he hopes Serena's last few years have been as lovely as she is. Hoyd reveals that he had traded being cursed for getting Elantrian powers. Now that his curse was broken, he could use them. Charlie is shocked that Hoyd allowed himself to be cursed. And Tress demands the sorceress remove the curse on Charlie, but sorceress says she can't because the curse isn't broken. Tresson demands that the sorceress leave her planet and tells Hoyd to zap her or something. So what did you think about Hoyd getting cursed so he could gain Elantrian powers finally? Because he's been on this for like, who knows fucking how
wow.
long he's been trying to get them.
Yeah. And hey, it was a good idea. If it actually is true, and
That
this isn't just an Alamancer Jack book.
And this is Hoyd fighting the sorceress, which I feel like she's not silvery enough for an Elantrian.
what do you mean? She's
Like
not
her,
in Lantern no more.
her skin's not silvery enough in this artwork. She's just kind of like my skin tone.
Maybe you're in a Lantern and you just didn't know that.
I wish. That'd be awesome.
Have you tried?
I have not tried to draw light in the air. It's not working.
You're obviously
You know
just not
damn well
trying.
she's gone into the bathroom, looked in the mirror,
Yep.
and tried to draw an Aeon.
I mean, you got to know your landscape, Midnight.
Yeah, I
even
don't.
know
I
Oh,
your
you're
don't. I
landscape.
don't
right.
know my geography well enough.
Yeah, exactly.
The way I
It'd
would
be
be
better to see if
such
you
a
have any
horrible
breath.
Lantern, though.
Do you have any breaths?
I have no breasts, but you don't need breasts to be an Elantrian.
No, but I mean, you could be other things.
No, I don't. I don't have any breasts.
Wait, I just realized it's geography and math for
Mhm.
Atlanteans right here.
Yeah, Elantrians. A lot of fans call it the coding language.
I would
Mm.
literally, I
Binary.
hate that. I hate that.
Binary is
I
so
wouldn't
fun.
be able to do shit in that.
I'm an Elantrian. Binary is so fun.
Nice. Jesus would also be an Elantrian.
I
Now,
could
see,
be like,
I'm not as good as Jesus, but
what the fuck is the equivalent of a Green Lantern in this world?
I don't know enough about Green Lantern to know.
which power is based off of emotion?
Emotion?
Oh.
Mhm.
Would
So
it?
that's what the lanterns are.
Not controlling emotions, but like emotion based reactions.
Would it not be Stormlight? How it's like kind of personality based?
Oh, I guess. Yeah, because that's the most like
The Radiant Orders are all like you take a
versatile as
personality
well.
quiz basically, and that
Yeah.
determines what your
Mhm.
Radiant Order
Yeah,
is.
that's
So
probably the closest
I
one
think the
to which
Stormlight
lantern you
Radiant
are.
Orders would be closest.
The only difference, I think, the only difference is that you can't have in Stormlight. You can't have all of them.
Yeah.
At least not yet. We'll see. Maybe that'll change. Somebody will show up and be like, "I am every."
The way I was thinking about how Kaladin dies in book 3 last night.
Paladin does die in book 3.
Yeah, we're gonna start book 3.
Obviously.
No, cause like, what if like they meant it in the metaphorical way?
What do
You
you
know,
mean?
like
Paladin
he
does in book
has to
3.
die to be reborn, so he can take on his like little, what's
His
it
true
fucking
form.
called? The little like rules, the codes, whatever.
Mhm. So he can shake on his true form.
The old Kaladin cannot come to the phone right now. Why?
Does
Because he's dead.
that mean Syl's gonna die if he dies?
No, that's fine. She's gonna like whatever. She can find a new man.
Find a new man.
A new man. That's not how that works.
What do you mean? What if, what if they just turn them into like crap people?
There already are crab people though.
Except what they turn him into. Turn humans
Yeah, like
into.
what if Kaladin gets reborn as a crap person?
That would be interesting.
Uh-oh, Midnight's giving us the little bit. Maybe. Could be what happens, Darkness. Maybe you're onto something.
Anyways, let's
I wish.
finish this book because we might actually have time to do the trailer for Oathbringer with Mythic's timeline if we finish
Yeah,
the book.
possibly.
Oh, we're doing a trailer? Never
The
mind.
Oathbringer trailer.
Onwards and upwards.
So yeah, so we then skip to Hoyd and the crew watching the Sorceress's tower shoot off into the sky, taking the Sorceress from the planet. The whole crew begins to celebrate as Tress goes over to Hoyd, asking if he could really do nothing to break Charlie's curse. Hoyd says he can't, but maybe he can change the conditions a little bit. This is her tower spaceship leaving the island.
The
Shake.
fuck?
No, because over half of it was underground. Like, what the
Right?
fuck?
That is stupid.
So yeah, were you surprised that the Sorceress had a spaceship?
Yes. That just looks stupid.
I was surprised it was a spaceship. I'm not surprised that it wasn't just a normal tower, considering it looks so fucking weird.
But yeah, it looked so squat because it was like, yeah, like at least half of it was underground. So it looked weirdly wide. Also, do you think that Hoyd and Ulam also got here via spaceship?
No.
Because since there is no shard here, there is no perpendicularity. So as far as we know, based on this book, there is no way to get here via Shadesmar, which is how they normally travel to different planets. So does everyone just
But
travel
Shadesmar's
via
still a
space?
thing in that planet.
I mean,
I
didn't
believe
you
Shadesmar
say one of the books was going to be about space, like in space? Mistborn or
Mistborn
whatever?
Era 4, I believe, is
Yeah,
Space
so
Age.
this is just Mistborn Era 4, which even more concretes my evidence of that hasn't happened.
Hmm.
Well, that's just like it could be like, wait, is Mistborn the most technologically advanced?
So this book is considered to happen farther in the future than Mistborn Era 2.
Okay.
It's people aren't 100% sure if this book or of the ones we've read or Six of the Dusk is the farthest in the future. Because it's implied in Six of the Dusk that the other worlders, remember, also came via spaceship to their planet. Because coming through the perpendicularity is like really dangerous in Six of the Dusk. So this is likely just to be very far in the Cosmere timeline. So it is very possible that this book technically occurs either around the time of Mistborn Era 4 or after Mistborn Era 4. We are not 100% sure. Because they have space travel.
But the thing is, though, like, wait, that still technically doesn't answer my question.
What was your question again?
Like, is Mistborn the most technologically advanced?
During Era 2, I believe they are the second or third most technologically advanced planet. I think specifically autonomy or Sazed specifically says like the reason autonomy is coming after them is because they are getting to be one of the most technologically advanced planets after autonomy's planet. I think autonomy's
That's
planet
kind
is
of
supposed to be like one of the
sad.
most technologically advanced. But we don't know if they get surpassed sometime between Era 2 and Era 4. Like, they might not always be the most technologically advanced.
Huh.
But as of Era 2, they are like top 3 planets technologically. Something like that.
Yeah, Yolan's the one that's the most technically advanced.
It's possible. I don't think people know much about Yolan because like Yolan's been hidden. So no one actually knows how technologically advanced Yolan is at the moment.
They're the farthest along.
Very possible.
They've created teleporting.
They do have dragons, to be fair, so.
I mean, that's
Well, yeah, that's
could
not
be
so special
medieval.
now, is it?
Could be medieval, to be honest.
Maybe dragons are really good with technology.
Maybe.
Alright, so epilogue. 5 months later, the crew in the new ship that they had bought by selling the old one, now called the Two Cups, sailed to the Rock.
The
Sally's
stupidest fucking name I've ever heard.
wow. Sally's father was now assistant helmsman and bumped the dock a little as they came in. Tress used sign language to give some commands, as Sport had taught the crew some signs so they could communicate easily when unable to hear each other across the deck. The crew had been more than pardoned for getting rid of the sorceress, and Hoyd notes that they'll all likely be quite wealthy in the future. Charlie is also back to being human, as Hoyd was able to change Charlie's curse-breaking requirements. He was able to change back right as they arrived and came out naked at first before Tress told him to remember to wear clothing, and he hurried back into their cabin. So what do you think about Hoyd being able to change Charlie's curse so that he could free him?
It was weird. It was
Yeah,
weird, and I didn't really.
I
It's
don't
so.
understand it either. You
I
change
understand
the
how
words
he
and
did
it
it,
how it works.
like how he like. I understand the change was made,
Yeah.
right? But that's like overriding somebody's like
Homework.
in a way.
He just rewrote the code. That's all.
Sure, let's go with that.
He rewrote the code so that there was the same outcome, but it was slightly different. So the rest of the crew heads out onto the shore, except for Laggert, who was in the brig for starting a bar fight at the last port. Tress's family then rushes out to meet her, not fully believing they would have seen her again, even after the letter she eventually wrote to them. Tress hugs them and ushers them to the ship, where she has a cabin ready for them. So what do you think about Tress bringing her family onto her ship with her?
It's
I'm an,
adorable.
I'm annoyed at
This
the
is the
fact
same
that the
family.
family didn't seem to interact more with her.
Yeah, this is the same family that didn't want her to go, right?
Yeah, they didn't want her to go, but then they're like, look, you're obviously very serious about this, we'll help you.
Yeah. Hmm.
But it's the fact that they were like, oh, we didn't expect you to come back, but like, yeah, we have our luggage. Let me just like go and like venture out with you, and not like immediately on the spot like start talking to you about everything that's happening. Like,
Well, apparently they've been writing letters back and forth.
yeah,
Which
but they didn't consider
crazy. How
those
did they get
letters
them between?
that serious.
How did they get them between each other?
I'm assuming she told them like what ports to send them to. Like she would send them from a port. She's like, "Hey, send the next one to like this port because we'll be there in like a month or something."
Like, if somebody sent me a text message about how like somebody in their life got kidnapped and they had to go rescue them, right?
Yeah.
And then they sent me like another paragraph about how it went, and we met up in person. The first thing I would do would be like clarify, like tell me everything that happened again, but like in person.
Hmm.
They seem
Uh,
like the family that literally just packed their shit and they're like, I'm ready for a vacation.
so Charlie's father then shows up, angry that Tress had made it so that anyone could leave the rock if they wanted. However, she tells him to read further, as she had also gotten the king to agree to pay anyone who wanted to work there for 20 years a generous amount of money. Tress then goes back onto the ship, where Charlie meets her, now fully closed. He asks if she gave his father the letters from his mother, who had apparently left several months ago because she was unhappy that his father had abandoned him. So yeah, what do you think about the changes that Tress made regarding the Rock and people working there? How they're like no longer stuck working there forever?
Man, hey, that's great. Happy for them.
What do you think, Darkness?
I don't really understand that stuff.
Okay. Tress then
Like,
goes
is
to
that
thank
all,
the
no
people.
way, like is it actually not just gonna be deserted?
Yeah, so it sounds like they're gonna get paid well enough that like you'd have a really good retirement, so it might be worth it. Because you could go retire somewhere else. So like you could work 20 years, like work like from the age of like 20 to
I
40
know.
and then retire at 40 and just live like another 40, 50 years somewhere else. That's really nice.
Okay.
Would you not work in a shitty place if you could retire at 40? Some people would.
I mean, if I get
Or
paid
I
well,
already work at a shitty place. And I'm not retiring at 40, that's for sure.
Exactly.
same.
So yeah, then Tress goes to thank the people who initially helped her escape before they head off, sailing again onto the Verdant Spore Sea. Book overview questions. Uh,
Yay.
What did you think about having another book where kind of like an off-worlder was the bad guy? Because like in Lost Metal, we had Autonomy as like the kind of main antagonist. Now we've got an Elantrian as the main antagonist. What do you think about having kind of like
I just find
off-worlders?
it I just find it funny to have an Elantrian as you know, antagonist.
Yeah, weren't expecting that.
No, not at all. I
Is
mean,
this
I
a
also wasn't
political
expecting.
standing question?
Yep, exactly.
This a what?
A political standing
Political
question?
and question.
No, it's not supposed to be
Are we
political.
are we making a
I don't
political
know.
statement with
It
this?
seems like they're
No.
blaming the people that are not originally from that
Yeah,
world for
aliens,
that.
you know.
But it's rich people. We're blaming
So,
the rich politicians.
yeah, they're taking our jobs, you know.
Wow,
So they're
that's
becoming rich.
crazy.
So they were rich first.
Nah, they're taking our jobs, so they're becoming rich.
All Are you liking having more crossover between planets and books, or do you like having things that are more contained to their own planet?
No, I kind of like the mix. It makes everything seem connected.
What do you think, Darkness? Do you like having different power systems and people coming from other planets on things, or do you like that being kind of more contained to the one planet?
Why this is gonna come out bad after seeing that political question thing, but why can't we just keep them separate and
You
then
want to build a wall?
and and then have like this like system of planets or a planet where they all just come together?
Mm.
Yep. Darkness wants to
Like
build
a
a wall.
central like hub unit.
Just say it, Darkness. You want to build a wall,
Segregate them powers.
Oh my
you know,
gosh.
and make the each place great again. Yep. Understandable.
Make the Cosmere great again.
There you go.
I'm gonna get canceled.
Oh my
You are.
gosh. What did you think about the book overall?
It was a good book.
Tress is one of my favorite characters.
Yeah.
Simply because she's a dessert.
Because she's Tres Leches.
hmm No, but no, yeah, she's one of my favorite characters. She has her moments where like I'm like, I don't know about that, but like so far I like her the best.
Yeah.
Besides Calvin. Calvin's always gonna be my favorite.
Also, what
Yeah,
did you think
I
about?
love
Oh, sorry,
I love Kelsier. I love Kelsier. Kelsier's gonna be my favorite always.
What do you think about Sanderson's writing style for this book compared to his other books? Because it's obviously like a very different like tone and like narration style. Did you like the Hoyd narration and like the more whimsical book, or did you like
Like I
his
said,
normal
it
books
made me
better?
feel more like Captain Jack. Shit.
Elementor Jack, you mean?
Yeah, whatever.
Not Captain Jack Sparrow.
Yeah,
What
Sparrow.
did you think about it, Darkness? About the different style of writing?
They didn't particularly enjoy that it's based on Hoyt's point of view.
You prefer the normal books better?
Yeah.
I agree that I
Only
generally
because
like
I
his
don't
normal
know.
books better, but it's kind of fun having something different too.
Yeah. But like if all the books were sort of like that, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah,
Like
I
I
don't
wouldn't
think
read
I
it.
would like it if all of his books were this way, but I do like the one once in a while having a fun little book like that.
I mean, I like the book. It's just, it feels like it doesn't really fit for me.
Mm,
Like it does because it has, somewhat powers and leans back onto, you know,
other stuff, yeah.
Elantrian powers, but I don't know. It doesn't feel like like until then it didn't really feel connected.
Mm,
Just like another like a story he was telling somebody or something.
yeah. Uh, Also, where would you rate this book compared to his other books in terms of your favorites? Like, is this in your top three, or is it kind of like
No.
not?
I don't know. I'd have to like really think about where my list is. Warbreaker's still my favorite, so
Warbreaker number one still?
yep, always.
I think Mistborn Era 2 was your number two? Or Mistborn Era 1, sorry, I mean, was your number two?
Yeah, probably. Like I said, I don't remember exactly.
Yeah.
That sounds about right, yeah.
What about you, Darkness? Is this in like your top three or anything, or do you think it's more kind of like in the
No,
middle?
it's definitely below my top 3,
Yeah.
but some of the characters in this book are definitely in my like top tier. So
Yeah.
like the book
Uh,
itself, like it's fine. Like it was a good read,
yeah.
but a lot of the elements would not have kept me here.
I would say Tress is, as a standalone book, Tress is my number one book of Sanderson's. I really like the planet, and a lot of my favorite of his books are based on like the magic system and the powers and like the planet. And I find Lumar like a really cool planet. Um, and I think it's like the most rereadable for me, but it's definitely not my favorite if you compare it to like a set of books. Like compared to like Mistborn Era 1 like as a complete set of 3 is better, but I think as like something I'd reread more and like super enjoy, I think I would usually put Tress above most of his other books if I was like just to like sit down and reread something.
I know, I definitely agree with you. It has rereadability for sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've already reread Warbreaker, so
Oh, did you? I didn't know you actually got around to doing that.
yeah, because I really like that book.
It
But
is
that
a
was
really good
long.
book.
That was a while. That was a while back though. That wasn't like recent.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. I wanted to know more about. I wanted the fucking next book.
I know, I do too. He's still not listed as something that's coming out soon, and I'm like, where is fucking book 2?
Yeah, you literally like teased it, and then it just never
I
came.
was under the impression that he was gonna be working on it, and it's been like fucking almost 5 years since then.
Mm-hmm.
And it's still not
You know,
been mentioned, and I'm like, I want
sometimes,
Warbreaker 2.
sometimes, sometimes things that are really, really good take some time,
Mm-hmm.
and then sometimes it takes so much time that it never gets released.
Oh my
Fair.
gosh. I want more Nightblood.
I mean, we're
We
kind of
do get
getting
more
more
Nightblood.
Nightblood. Yeah, I'm just saying.
So that is the end of Tress of
I
the
want
Emerald
I
Sea.
want that second book so we can figure out why Nightblood's here.
Yeah, we're gonna end our last episode of Tress before going into our Oathbringer trailer. So thank you so much to Hubris, Kaladin Dies in Book 3, Kyle, and Danny the Spoonlord for being
Danny
our
Spoonlord.
Patreons. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. Bye!
Bye.